Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Kenzie DeGaulle. I'm a writer of fantasy and historical fiction, and today I'm doing my first reading themed video. I'm going to talk about the books that I read in September. I probably won't make too many reading videos. I just want to make probably month-to-month ones about what I read that month. I try to read a lot because I think reading as a writer is really important, and also I just love reading. You can see my bookshelf in the background. It is overflowing with books. I have barely any room. Writing is one of my favorite things. Reading is one of my favorite things. Writing is also my favorite thing, but we're talking about reading in this video. So today I'm going to talk about all of the books that I read in September. Most of them I don't have physically, so I'll put a little picture up on screen because I either borrowed them from the library or I read them on my Kindle, which I also borrowed from the library because I get all my Kindle books from Libby. So I read a total of 10 books in September, and it was a pretty good reading month. I think I read 3,300 pages this month. I've started keeping track. I maybe should have grabbed the notebook before I started filming, but I started keeping track of the pages I read each day because it kind of motivates me to read more, and I don't know, it's kind of fun to just like write down how much I read in a day and see like the tangible amount. Sometimes I've had an unreasonable amount of pages because I read graphic novels, which are super easy to get through, and I will talk about that. But there was one day when I had, I think, 717 pages in one day, and that was because I read a graphic novel, or 2 graphic novels. 2. It's been super fun to do that. I highly recommend it. I just write down my page number at the start of the day and then the page number at the end of the day, and it's really fun. The first book that I read in September, I am joining all of the gazillions of people who have read this book. I read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I hope I don't get burned at the stake. So far, I talked about this on Instagram as well, and so far no one's been too mad over there, but I didn't love this book. I know it's a very, very beloved book. All of the sudden, a ton of people have read this and really enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't love it. I thought the dragons were cool, so I bumped it up a star from 2 because the dragons were cool. That's why I read it in the first place. My boyfriend got this for me for my birthday, and he got it because dragons are cool. I did like the dragons. They were cool. The concept was interesting. I don't know. I wasn't anticipating it being such a full-blown romance, so that wasn't my favorite thing, and I really am not a fan of explicit scenes. And this book, yeah. So, which is a thing that makes it popular. So I'm definitely going against the grain with this one, but I don't like those kinds of scenes. And also, something that it was super praised for was the chronic pain representation. Like, everyone was like, wow, this is so great, we have a main character with chronic pain, this is awesome. And I was super excited for that because I have chronic pain. I have joint problems and it hurts. So I was really excited to see a character with chronic pain. No, I did not like the chronic pain representation in this book. No. It was alright in the beginning, but then it kind of just devolves into Violet, the main character, just ignoring it and doing things anyways, and at some point she starts exercising, and that makes it better, which, like, yeah, that can alleviate it sometimes, but it's not gonna make you completely cured. I don't know. It was definitely because it was definitely for simplicity, because the author needed her to be able to be the coolest person out of the entire school and fight people and be cool. But I could not stand it. I really, like, the more time that goes between me and when I read this book, the more I get mad about it. And I've seen like a lot of videos where people are like, oh, it's really cool that it had chronic pain representation, but no, it was bad. I don't know, I really could not stand it. But the dragons were cool. So that was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Then I read A Demon in the Wood by Leigh Bardugo, the graphic novel version. I wanted to read this since it came out, and it just so happened that one of the libraries that is near me had a copy. I was super excited about it, so I got it. I read it in one sitting. I flew through it. It was like maybe 20 minutes that it took me to read this book. This book was really, really good. The art was so beautiful. I really, really love kind of the what if concept of it. Like, at this point in his life, the Darkling could have tipped either way. He could have become a good person, or he could have become a bad person. And obviously, we know how it turns out. But I really, really liked how that was told, and I really liked seeing the way that Grisha were existing in this time in the world. Like, they really had to fight to survive. I don't know, I just really enjoyed the way that they were portrayed in this book. I really want to own a copy of this. It was so good. I love the Grishaverse. I love Leigh Bardugo. So this was awesome, and I gave it 5 stars. And then next I read Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, because if you can see it back there, nope, there, I own a copy of the second book, which I thought was the first book. I got it at a library sale for like 50 cents, and I thought it was the first book, but it wasn't. So I read the real first book, Once Upon a Broken Heart, on my Kindle. I read Caraval and the whole Caraval series last year, I believe, 2022. And I did not enjoy those books. I didn't like them. I don't know, they weren't my taste, was the problem. They were kind of just too over the top and a little bit campy for me. So I didn't enjoy those ones. But I had like some people who I watch, like booktubers who I watch, I had seen that they also didn't care for Caraval, but then they loved this series. So I really wanted to try it. I picked it up. I didn't care for the first book. I gave it 3 stars. It was the same as Caraval. It was really, really over the top and not my taste. I'm going to try the second book because I own it, and I would feel bad for owning it and not giving it a chance. I don't know. My expectations are very low. I'm just not a fan of Stephanie Garber's writing, I think, which is a shame because I know a lot of people really love this series, so I was hoping to also really love it, but it's okay. So yeah, I give that one 3 stars. Next, I read These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This book was so good. I loved this book. I had been meaning to read it for a really, really long time. Finally got around to it because I found a copy at one of my local libraries, and it was so good. I loved it so much. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really liked it. As soon as I finished it, I requested the second book at my library, and I have it right now. I haven't gotten around to it yet because I'm trying to finish another book that I got from the library. I have probably way too many library books checked out right now, but I love libraries so much. So this book was super, super good. I really liked the characters. I really like the concept of it. Like, fantasy retelling of Shakespeare is the coolest thing. And especially like with the setting, with the everything about it. The way that the characters were reimagined. I adored this book. It was so cool. I really liked it, and I'm super excited to get into the second one, but I'm also scared. I'm scared for the characters. The first one, the ending just hurt. It hurt. So I really want to get to the second one, but I'm also kind of not ready. I'll get to it soon. Hopefully in the October wrap-up, you'll see me talk about that one. And the next book that I read was A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. I love this series so much. I gave this book 5 stars, and I think the other two I also gave 5 stars. I don't have the best memory when it comes to my own ratings, so I love this. I tabbed it up. The other books are also super tabbed, super annotated. I adored this book. I loved it so much. This was such a good ending to the series. I know it's The Fragile Threads of Power has come out, and I'm really hoping to get to that book soon. But this one was just it was so good. It was such a good ending to the series and a good ending to the conflict and to the characters, and I love these characters so much. I love this world. It's incredible. This is absolutely one of my favorite series of all time now. It's so good. So yeah, this book was super fun. I am really looking forward to reading The Fragile Threads of Power. I requested it on Libby to read on my Kindle, but there's the wait time is several months, so I'm going to try and get a physical copy from the library or a physical copy at the store, maybe. I really want to read it. I love this world so much. V.E. Schwab is such a good writer. This is a really, really good book, and I highly recommend it. So the next book that I read was Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. I watched the show, season 1, when it came out, and I really, really loved it. It was just, it made me really happy, and it was just amazing. I loved it. I haven't been super into TV lately. For whatever reason, I haven't been interested in watching much, so I've only seen a couple episodes of season 2, but I am planning on watching the rest because I really do like this show, and I'm probably going to get around to it at some point. But in the meantime, since I've been very, very, very in a reading mood, I picked up the graphic novel. I absolutely loved this. Again, I flew through this. That's probably because it's a graphic novel, but I read this super fast and I really, really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was so good. This series just makes me so happy. And I have been told multiple times that I can read all of it on Webtoon and online, but I just really like being able to sit down with a book and fly through it and then be able to say that I read 300 pages in half an hour, let alone in a day. I don't know, it's just, it's a silly thing, but it's really fun, and I like physical books more. than online things, so I read it physically, and I read the rest of them physically, which I'll get to in a second. But the first one was super, super good. 5 stars. I really loved it. And next I read This Is How You Stop the Time War. I really liked this. I thought it was really good. I give it 4 stars. It was a little bit confusing because it's kind of, the writing style is kind of vague and flowery and poetic, and it doesn't super explain a whole lot of what's going on. You kind of have to pick it up as you go along. But so I was a little confused in the beginning, but I ended up being less confused as time went on, and I really liked it. It was I don't know, really fun, really sweet. I liked it. I'm not so sure about the ending of it. I don't know how I feel about the ending, so I did give it 4 stars, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was a good read. And the last books that I read in September were the last 3 volumes of Heartstopper. So I still have them. I haven't returned them to the library yet, but I have Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. So I give all of them 5 stars. They're super, super good. Volume 2, again, really sweet. This one gets through the content that was covered in season 1 of the TV show. So this is kind of where my spoilers ended, I guess you could call it spoilers. This is like the stopping point of when I knew what was going to happen. I really enjoyed it. Again, it was super, super sweet, super fun. Really loved this. And then Volume 3, also super good. I really loved the trip setting and all of the sweet things that were happening, and like some of the other characters getting together. Super, super fun. It does start to deal with some heavier content, but it's handled in a really good way, so I still really enjoy it. And then Volume 4, again, 5 stars, super good. It definitely was pretty heavy on the heavy content side of things. So that made it a little hard to get through, just because it made me sad. It made me sad, so it was a bit hard to get through this one, but again, it was handled really well, and I really enjoyed this, so 5 stars to this one as well. So yeah, those were all of the books that I read in September. I am hoping to read lots more books in October. I'm currently in the middle of way too many books. way too many books. I'm reading Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, which I am actually doing a video about, so keep an eye out for that. I'm reading Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I'm reading Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Braceling by Kristen Cashore, I believe. Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I think that's it. Too many books. I will admit it. It's too many. I don't know how I ended up at this point, but I'm hoping to finish at least most of them by October. So you'll hear about those in my October video. And I might talk about some of the books that I'm reading in my writing vlogs that go up every week. Yeah, I'm super excited about reading lately. I've been reading lots. I've been getting lots of books from the library. That's where most of the books that I read come from. So yeah, I had a really great month with reading. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me talk about books for a really long time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are interested in writing or reading content, feel free to stick around, stay tuned. I have writing vlogs that go up every week and reading updates that are going to start going up at the end of every month. So thank you for watching.